This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we talk about the stigma of calling yourself a personal trainer and bad equipment and why you could use it, I guess. Three, two, one. Sorry, mate. I've won all the iPhones this week.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, mate. Do you know what? I said to you this before we start recording, is that the worrying thing is I can't even sell them because everyone else has won so many. So they're worthless. iPhone 13s are practically worthless now, I think. Just frustrating.
It's bonkers. Yeah, I know. So yeah, it's literally, it's almost like they're teasing me as well because I upgraded to a iPhone 13 Pro Max. Thank you very much. Because I've had my iPhone 10 for about 5 years. And it physically, for the sole purpose of being a phone, the microphone on actually having a phone call did not work. So I had to always put my my headphones in before I could take a call or put it on speaker. Wow. Yeah, because I busted it somehow. I think I dropped the dumbbell like on a little bit of the basically, and then I bent the charging port, and then I bent it back so I could charge it. But then in turn broke the microphone. So I think I've deserved one. It was no longer functioning as a phone. Also, I had to charge it twice a day. So yeah, it was no longer functioning as a phone. It was more of a burden more than anything else. So bless you, Dan.
Just mute myself to say.
I know you did, didn't you? Yeah, you mute. That was quick on the mute. It's almost like you had a mute button. I don't know why microphones don't come with that very often. There should be a little button on the side, right? In the industry, if your podcast is on a professional platform, they have mute buttons, but we don't apparently.
Ours is not professional, so
how dare you?
There you go.
Right, yeah. So we got all the iPhones. Instagram's been a bit weird. Apparently, lots of people are following me for no apparent reason. I think just one of my reels did quite well, and that was about it. Did quite well. I think got like 10,000 views or something. And I was like, oh, that's good. I feel like that's a good number to shoot for, considering I'm not I'm going to be an influencer. That's my new thing, Dan. Yeah,
is that what you're gonna go for?
Yeah. So that's what I've decided to be. So yeah, none of this education stuff.
I do think it is something you decide to be an influencer. You didn't just decide to be one. It's not you don't have to actually have any influence on people. You just decide to be one.
I'm going to be one from now on. I'm going to put influencer on my title and just be like, crack on, influencer. Lap it up, off we go. Like the guys,
why not?
The six-figure guys that are like 18 years old.
That's it. Well, you don't have to have brains or a personality to be an influencer, so that's fine. You're all good. You fit the bill, mate. So,
what's been happening this week, Daniel?
Not a lot, mate. I'll be honest. Not huge amounts. Sort of settling into life now a little bit here, and it's quite. I don't know whether it's just because you start almost like starting a new life as such, but I'm finding it easier to just
Daniel's been reincarnated in Dubai. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, a little bit. But I just feel
I'm sorry. What tone was that of your voice?
I just had a bit of 7-Up stuck in my throat.
Sure.
I'm just like I don't know. I'm finding it a bit easier to just relax a little bit more and just I don't know if it's because I'm again playing golf and bit more and it's sort of around the corner and all this sort of stuff. I don't know, but I'm just finding it a bit easier to just slow down a little bit, which has been nice, to be honest. So nothing crazy's happened, but just just had quite a good week, I suppose. Nothing crazy though. What about you?
Good, mate. We're setting. We've got you'll be seeing something from the PTC that some people will be a limited amount of people that you can get very excited about. Probably circa what we got went until the end of the month. So hopefully it'll be hitting the market. So yeah, jump on that. Have a little look what we're going to be doing. Ooh, comprehensive is all I'm going to say. It will be comprehensive. If you wanted to talk to me or look at my face and hear my voice even more, you might have to pay money for it.
Jesus. No one wants to do that. No one.
It's been good. But in real life, I've had a few of you lovely listeners and a few of you people have reached out for coaching. So it is a process that both myself and Dan are onboarding clients right now. Amazing. So yeah, a couple of people actually reached out, which is great. It's always good because apparently I never, or Dan had a go at me for never advertising that I might be actually training people.
There you go.
Yeah, shock and horror. So yeah, if you want to be onboarded for March, yeah, hit me up in February because March is too late. So yeah, you can still contact me in March, but I'll probably bring you on in April. I like months. Funny how that works, isn't it? How we start. So yeah, mate.
That's the PT in you, isn't it?
It's the PT, like order. I mean, we're still going to bring that 13th month into play. I'm pitching it to third space, and I think we'll bring it in there first.
I think it'll happen, mate. Yeah, I think you've got enough clout. You're an influencer now, so it'll happen.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'll put in my bio, yeah, the co-founder of the 13th month. Yeah, that'd be fine. So today, I think just it kind of on the back of a little moan. The one thing I've got one thing before we moan, Dan. I know you really want to get to the big kind of rant. That is your signature move.
You know I love a moan.
That is your signature thing. We do need to, because we stopped this, and I'm not a fan of this, Daniel, and we haven't been protein bar tasting for a while.
No, can't, mate. Just really poor selection out here.
Yeah, so I kind of want to review one, but I have to be wary of. I do have a contract with them.
Biased.
But I'm not going to be good on the review because I have tried it. But I don't know. But I kind of want to bring one for you, but I don't know how to, because I got excited and got some birthday cake product from Smy Moteen. And I was like, oh, Dan will enjoy this, and I was like, I'll try this to make sure it's all right. It's only like a little bite, kind of 100-calorie bite thing. It's not good, mate. Unfortunately,
don't worry about it, mate.
I got a whole box, and I was like, oh, you'll like this. I'll bring them out a birthday cake, my protein. I'm lucky enough to be part of their influencers that get sent some of this stuff. Yeah. My kitchen table, if you could see it, Dan can't see it at the moment. But it's about. Yeah, it's got vegan water on it. I've already said about that. It's got about 5-6 different boxes of protein bars, and that is the rest of them actually okay. But that one not too fantastic. So unfortunately, the rest of them, if there's like this moussey one, which is pretty good, and like the chocolate brownies are pretty okay. Still, I'm still going to go to Protein Pantry, but they are good for a commercial basis, and they're not as expensive. So lovely. Anyway, what was I talking about? I don't know.
Protein bars. We're talking about protein bars, mate.
Oh, we were. But I'm not going to taste these because you haven't got any. I feel sorry for you.
Well, no, I think people need to know, though, mate. I think people.
No, I don't want to have one. It's going to ruin my tea. So, what do you say? Tea, supper, dinner?
Dinner every day.
Dinner.
Tea's a drink, mate. Cup of tea.
I've got Diet Coke. I'm back on the Diet Cokes. Thank God. Got rid of that Pepsi.
You need to get some Peps Max in life.
I do not. No, I do not. I stomached the price of the Diet Coke, and I was like, "This is so worth it. This extra 50p." Right. So yeah, I had a little rant about. I think it was just because I did see someone in my facility squatting with a. No, I don't mind people squatting with a weight plate as their weight of choice, but there are far better choices to hold for like a goblet based squat thing, like a dumbbell or a kettlebell. But the plate, sure, it was there. If it was just, he was like, I couldn't be bothered to walk over to. He was obviously benching at the same time, wasn't he? So it was superset of bench press with Bosu ball upside down, like not upside down squats, but the Bosu ball was on the rounded bit. And he was squatting, because you can do two things with the Bosu ball, can't you? But we'll digress when we get into that. I've written 5 different bullshit things. But
you can do one thing with the Bosu ball, and that's throw it away. But
we're going to explain dumb equipment and why it's dog shit, essentially. But we're also going to come from the caveat of, because Dan made a good point, because I was like, oh, I'm in an hour, and I will make a video about the Smith machine. But then I was like, but then I also came out, I was like, but I could do it for hat squat. And you were like, correct. It's like, you could, your clients maybe not. So we'll explain why it might not be dog shit all the time, but you might have a use for it. And there's actually, when I did that post, Rob Madden, you know Rob, yeah. So he's a fairly well respected S&C physio in F1, I believe. Is he? I don't know who does he do. Lando, Massa,
I
Perez, one of them.
No, I don't know who it is. I think isn't it backup driver? I think it's not. I don't
Is it a
think it's
backup
one of
driver? Is it not one of the
I
main
think,
ones? Oh, he's
I
gone
don't think
down
it's
on my
one of
offense.
the. I
Did
don't
you
think it's one
see
of the
Max
biggest ones.
Verstappen's workout that other
Wow.
week? What is that about? I
Wow.
mean, we might just pivot here and get this up.
That was possibly
That
some of the
was
most hideous form, but not also that, complete waste of time based on the amount of weight he's lifting I've ever seen in my life. Like,
honestly, I would have rather he had just been sitting on his couch and said having a hard workout, and then I'd have been you're safer there, and you would have been doing more benefit to yourself. You had a hard season.
Honestly,
so.
it was shocking. It was absolutely shocking. And I've seen I can't remember who else I saw. There was another one I saw. It wasn't an F1 driver there. It was another athlete. And it was just like, what are you doing, mate?
So I'm fortunate enough to know a couple of S&C and osteos and physios who work in F1 with F1 teams and travel around, right? And I did ping it to him straight away. And he was like, I can't see it. I was like, shit, they even block, because he works for somebody else. I was like, they even block the other team's osteos and physios from viewing their social media. I was like,
they could
that
just
is
get
so petty. I was like, that is so petty. I was like, I obviously screened it to him, like screen grabbed it to him and then just said it. He was like, fuck me. I was like, yeah. He was like, I've met his coach. He is fucking awful. He's like, he just kind of swanned in because he's Max's mate and has been with him for like 2 years apparently. So obviously, that might have been, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, that might have been Max just training by himself, right? And the coach had nothing to do with it. But if the coach had been training him, I would expect all of my clients to do better form than that, because he's learnt it from somewhere. Like, why would you film it? Jesus, do it in private. Don't put it online. Oh, Jesus. Awful. Anyway, thus making good equipment look like shit. So the Bosa Boil looks absolutely fine, maybe if it's in the right hands. Maybe not. But yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about, because we can title this as the title of the episode. It's actually something that came up in one of my market researching things that I did the other week. God, that's a lot. It's nice having chats with various trainers about business and everything, what's going down, what they think about the industry, blah, 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 blah. It's quite cool. It's like being on a little podcast, but I didn't have to record it with you. So it's a relief more than anything else.
Probably pretty good.
So the title is The Stigma of Calling Yourself a Personal Trainer. And this came up, and I think you've definitely got a view on this. I don't know why it popped into my head, because you said something about something just earlier. And
something. That's really, that's what I said. Yeah.
Nailed it, mate. And this popped into my head. I was like, actually, that is a topic that we could discuss, because it genuinely is a thing that both myself and you have been through in our lives. Especially, what was your first job title in the world of health and fitness, or like sport? I guess would have been
official job title or like intern.
I mean, what did you just make one up? Captain of Hull.
Yeah,
you're like,
I was the first team sports scientist. That's my official contracted title.
I guess the first contracted one would have been, for both of us, would have been intern, wouldn't it?
Intern, 100%.
Yeah. Intern. Yeah. Then I was. It would have been development squad or 18s. I can't remember what was the title. Performance coach. I got the performance coach title because I went between performance analysis and S&C. So they were like, you can have this as your title. It's like, oh, great, cool. Basically, give them all the dog shit jobs for either of the either facility or department. But yeah, then we moved into the world of personal training. And what did you call yourself, Dan?
Personal trainer.
You crazy cat. So did I.
Mental, isn't it?
What have you ever called yourself something else?
I think I'd like the idea of calling myself like a strength coach or even S&C coach, I suppose, something like that, because I used to hate the fact that people call. I still hate it now And
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
not
feel like I've gone
ashamed.
full circle.
I'm
but
not ashamed to say it now. Like we went on, so I was with Suk. We played golf and we met up with these two guys. Because over here you play with other people. You don't just do rounds of two people. You have to go as a four ball. And these two Irish lads, chatty and Chatterson. Fucking hell, like it wouldn't stop. We just there, everyone a nice round of golf. You don't mind a bit of chat, but it was like fucking every 2 seconds. And but they were nice enough. And he said to me, so what do you do? And I was like, I kind of I do like online fitness, got an online fitness business, help people get in shape kind of thing. And it's kind of hard to explain. And he was just like, well, that's not good, is it? If you can't explain it to me. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I just left it because I didn't even want to say I'm a personal trainer. Yeah, I'm an online personal trainer. Oh, really? What's that? What's that do? And I was just like, I can't bother. And it's just such a stigma because there's so many shite personal trainers out there. It'd be like someone saying, I don't know, like when someone says to me they're a chef, right? I'm like, well, does a McDonald's worker call themselves a chef? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think Michelin star chef. I think beef eater, right? That's just what I think. Like, I don't like, as bad as that sounds. I don't like, it doesn't, And I think with personal training, people have the same thing, and I think that's why I need to work out what to call myself out here because I don't know. I speak to people out here sometimes, right? So another guy I spoke to, what are you in? What do you do for a living? Sales. Okay. Like,
of what?
What do you do? What's your comeback from that? Because you just go, okay, cool, nice. Yeah, you don't explore further than that because there's kind of it's just a bit of a I don't know, this ambiguous answer that they obviously don't want to dive into it. Or the other one is I'm a consultant. So I might just say I'm a sales consultant because I could be. I technically am. I'm technically also admin and T-boy. When you're just a bit like it's too embarrassing. And like I think Mike says I own an online fitness business. I think that's what he says. So I might start doing that because that's technically true as well. But I am with you 100%. I fucking hate it. And I hate calling myself a personal trainer. But when you're with clients, that's also the only way they're going to know what you do. Like, don't call yourself a strength and conditioning coach. Do you know what I mean? Just don't do it.
Yeah, because guess what? The market for a personal trainer is far larger than the market for a strength and conditioning coach or strength coach. More people who you want to help know what that means, unfortunately. But the unfortunate thing is we stand up next to, and I'm literally the person who educates the person who gets level 3 qualified, literally. Okay. But after they've qualified, there is no difference between me and them, according to the market. Essentially, if I were to stand there and be like, job title, personal trainer, job title, personal trainer. Cool. Pick one. Who are you going for? If you just went on face value, they won't go for me because I look like a sack of shit. They were like, he don't train. Look at his biceps. That is being corrected, by the way, if you've noticed. My biceps are huge. This is a really big top, Dan. You just realize that. You're going to be so impressed when I get out there in a couple of weeks. I've had a full 2 months of bicep training 3 times a week. Absolutely. We'll go through my bicep program at a later date. Maybe at the end of this podcast of all the variations of curls I've done so far. Stuff I didn't even know. I didn't even know what some of them were. This is how bad a coach I am. But anyway, pure effort. But yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Personal trainer. It was one of the discussions I had with Mr. Lambert, one of the lads I went and did his podcast the other week. And it was just like the stigma of being a personal trainer. So I've gone through that whole rigmarole as well of calling myself, I'm a strength coach. Cool. All right. What does that mean? I like the word coach because I feel like that's what I do. But it's weird. So weird.
Yeah. It's not, I just think, I just don't like it. But it's because you hear all people all the time, like newspaper things. Oh, this personal trainer did this. And you're just like, oh, he's not a personal trainer. He's a fucking idiot. So yeah, it's just annoying.
And then if I were to say I'm a personal coach, that sounds like psychology. That sounds like I'm doing mental stuff with them, which I guess I am, but I'm probably doing more of the physical coach. And I'm not going to call myself a physical coach because that sounds like bedroom work or something like that. I'm like, all right, I'm physical therapist. Cool. All right. That sounds like so. Because I've been like, I don't know. I go educator first normally, or a fitness educator, health and fitness educator, and that does personal training. as well as like. But obviously, I can't be. If I went by it via income, I for online coaching and personal training. It's still, I don't know, it's still 50-50 in terms of educating to that. I'm like, well, surely it's that. So it's a strange one, because I did just click on your Instagram just to see what you put, because you've got an online fitness coach. Is not there's no personal and there's no trainer in that thing. And then my first one is coach and head of training. Like I just put my actual job titles: head of training and education coordinator, then elite trainer, which is a bullshit term made up by First West. You have to obviously get to a certain level, like me. It's only because I was first through the door and decided what the levels were. That's how you get there, guys. Otherwise, I would not be able to be there. According to numbers, maybe on quality, I'd get there. But numbers, I definitely would not. They'll be like, how did you get it, Tom? Which is a frequent question from HR. So, so yeah, all you have to do is make the system, then it's fine. You can make it up. All right. But it's, I don't know. What are the other names you've seen around the industry as well that you don't? It's an interesting one of like meeting the market where they're at and not being too resentful about what people think. But what are the ones? I think it's like seen?
I've seen physical performance coach.
Okay, that sounds a bit sexual though as well. Yeah.
I've seen that. So that's one I've seen. Holistic lifestyle coach.
See, I don't like I don't like the word holistic. I realize it means kind of all round, but it sounds airy fairy to me.
Well, it is airy fairy, isn't it? That's why.
Yeah.
No, it just is. It's just not ideal. But I'm trying to think of other ones that I've seen.
I like so one of my best mates, Annie, who I've got at Third Space with me, and he interviewed with me, and he was, and I think still is on LinkedIn, a body transformation coach. And I send endless gifts of just the transformers to him, because I'm just like, is that what you do? you turn people, transform them, right? He was like, fuck off, Tom. I used to work at because where was he? Was what's that silly gym that forces drugs on people?
Ultimate Performance.
Yes, the one. All right. that's not libelous, is it? I don't know. Who cares? There's definitely one in Dubai, isn't there? Up Performance, as people know it. It's all about that film. But there's interesting ones. Personal coach, strength coach, personal trainer would be the one I'd stick to. Unfortunately, it does have stigma. But it's up. Is it a case of we need? I'm gonna be really kind and use you as a good thing. It's like we need people like you to start using the term on yourself to reclaim it. So it's like for example, the LGBTQ plus. I probably left out one of the letters. It's like them reclaiming a word to bring it back into their kind of scope, and then so they're like, no, we've reclaimed that word. That's for us. So maybe we need to do that, Dan. We need to be.
So do I need to change my name? Do I need to change it to online personal trainer? Is that
online personal trainer? Not really, because I don't think. Obviously, you do personal training, but you also do group stuff. So I think you should be online. Online Dan.
I'm going to change it now. Online personal trainer. So that's it.
You're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to change it now.
I'll do mine. I'll be like.
You've told me, so I'm going to do it. Can't do it. Enter name under 30 characters. That's probably why I did it. Probably why I did it.
Online. I don't know. Where yours is on? Yours is literally on your name, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I need to change that then.
Online PT? They'll do online PT?
I don't know, because you might have people from America.
Physical therapist.
Physical therapist, which it happened to me frequently, because obviously I'm as intelligent as a physiotherapist, which that's given far too much credit to physiotherapists. But yeah, I'm like, no, that's not actually what I do. I'm just part of the strong bit. So there's other lads that they touch you before that. So and unadequately load you, send it to them. And then I'll start to load you. Cool. And then we'll start to make some changes. If Alex is listening to that, he'll be giggling. So, fortunately, he still listens. What a weirdo. Alex, you're never going to be one of our clients. Go away.
Mate, surely he's bored of us by now, isn't he?
I know.
Surely.
Poor lads. Like, he literally works around the corner from me as well. I've been to his gaff. Strong beard, Krajewski.
Very strong beard.
And then the second question, obviously, that was the first one of what do you actually call yourself? This is a little bit more holistic, comprehensive, complete. Just for people, obviously, Dan had an interview with himself on that other podcast he does. And what did Mike actually ask you questions, or was it just you?
No, Mike did ask me questions, yeah.
All right, okay. I thought you were just playing interview and interviewer. No. You're just kind of like, oh, Dan, what did you do? And then just split to the other side of the microphone. I can imagine doing that. That's what Luke does in some of the podcasts, to be fair, because I can't be able to turn up. Or it's like a topic I really don't like. I'm like, shut up, Luke. So why did you become a personal trainer, Dan? It was just one of the things at the top of the UK PTs group. And I was like, actually, let's ask Dan that.
Why did I become a personal trainer?
In 3 words or less.
3 words or less. Money. Fucking not because of the fucking money. Yeah, it's one of those where I think it was, as we've discussed, being in football, I think I realized quite early on that I wanted to help people perform better, function better, all those sorts of things, right? And in football, I thought I was going to have the opportunity to do that, and I just didn't in any way, shape, or form influence anything. And I was like, well, I want to help people.
You influenced their protein shakes and how well they were made.
They were clean. Those shakers were clean before I put that protein in as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Very clean. So yeah, it was more a case of like, right, how can I help people? And I think at the time it was like I've said before, I could kind of see my future a little bit with people who were ahead of me. And I was just like, yeah, I don't want that shit. So I just was like, look, I'm just going to go and do this in London. And I didn't really have a long-term plan. It was just a case of I wanted to actually help people and do something that was enjoyable. And then I met you and my life went downhill. So that's pretty much the story. And yeah, and I think I know it's very cliche and people say, I wanted to help people and stuff like that. But it was more a case of like, I knew I could help people like achieve more with their physique, with performance, all those sorts of things. I knew that it was possible. And I wanted to be active. So I was like, well, naturally you think, well, that's going to happen if I become a PT or become a sports scientist, whatever. So that was it, really.
Yeah.
What about you?
I flip around. Me. Thanks for asking, Dan. And then I became PT because I was never planning to, much like you. I was looking to go into pro sport. And I was probably looking into being like all the jobs I applied for before getting offered a role at third space, just on a random freelance gig that I was doing. For if somebody knows the Dartfish performance analysis software, I was working for them as a freelance biomechanist, which was super fun. Boring. But I think they're where are they? I don't know where they are. Squash now. They do a lot of squash work. It seems a bit of a niche market. But yeah, it was on a whim. I went down there and got offered a gig because apparently I knew the difference between like my ankle and my femur. Yeah, Martin was like, sold, you're smarter than everybody here. Thanks. And then Dan came in, smarter than me. So yeah, I think it was more the case of I found everything super interesting. And the case of like, I loved performance. I loved, as you can see, people running, jumping, throwing shit, being powerful, being super strong. And then I was like, I'm able to actually do this. And people seem to listen to me every now and again. So I might be okay. Also, as you probably noticed, I love fucking coaching. If I probably wasn't a coach, I probably, unfortunately, would be a teacher. And I've kind of blended both. And in some sort of way, but it is true. If you can't teach, I was not successful in being a pro footballer. I did play at semi-professional level. Thank you. And then chose academia because I wasn't very good.
I think that was it as well. I think that was it for me is like, you always wanted to do that. And yeah, like you said, it was just never good enough.
Yeah, I wasn't good enough.
You want to stay involved. You want to stay involved in sport. You want to stay involved in sport. You want to do all those things. And then I think, for those people that are somewhat intelligent, it's kind of like, well, I can probably impact it at that sort of high level. I think
better level, yeah, correct.
Yeah, I think that was the thing for me.
And then the movement from going from, say, personal training into educating, I was like, it was kind of something that I was obviously already doing. And it was to keep standards high or keep standards to where I thought they should be. And then when Luke approached me, when he was like doing stuff, he was like, do you want to keep it to just your gym or do you want to impact the industry? And I was like, B, I want to do that one. That seems like the better thing to do because I want to, I don't want to leave my mark somewhere, but I want to leave it a better. It's the whole kind of like, what do you want to happen before you die, right? It's the kind of like, I just want to leave the world a better place than when I entered it. I want to leave the fitness industry a better place than when I entered it. Essentially, that would be my goal.
Isn't hard. I'll be honest.
It isn't hard. This podcast has gone a long way towards that, so we've already done that. So over a silly amount of episodes. Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's probably why I found it all super interesting more than anything else. And then I seemed to be able to get my views across in a digestible format. I think if I was to blow my own trumpet, that seems to be the one credible thing I can do. It seems most of my students or people who have listened to me, you're able to take a complex idea and then make it digestible so somebody can understand it vaguely. So that would be why. Wonderful, Dan. All right, let's enough of that, like philosophical actual content. Dumb equipment and why it's dog shit. That's what I've literally written down in my notes. So this won't make it through the bleeping. Never put a bleeper in this show, have we? Unfortunately,
ever.
Every single like on the last couple of podcasts I did, I had to ask whether I'm allowed to swear. I don't swear a lot, I don't think, but I had to ask because obviously there's some stuff in fitness because we're passionate about it, Dan. We might not be passionate about training ourselves, but we're certainly passionate about fitness, I'd say, because it winds us up so much. But yeah, I had to ask whether I could swear because I did go on a couple of rants. Shock. To bring the essence of you.
Just
exactly. All right, so dog shit equipment and why it's dog shit. Can you come up with one? I've written 5.
The treadmill.
The treadmill, interesting.
Just dog shit. I just don't get it. I just don't understand it, and I don't think there's any reason or cause for anyone to use it in the gym. That's my honest opinion. Like, I think if you're a trainer and use it because of HIIT, again, shit, use a watt bike, use anything else that's less impactful on the joints, that's going to get the same training benefit, all that sort of stuff. And if you tell me your client's an athlete and they need to run, go outside and run then. I just think
hopefully facilities now for that treadmill kind of burst thing. I would agree if you're going on a long run, go outside. If it's raining, don't run. And then hopefully if the gym has something for HIIT, they might have invested in a curve now, hopefully, that seems, you can see how it's structured. It enables you to pull with your hamstring, and it's so much biomechanically better for a lot of people, and enables people to run upright, which they should. Shockingly, based off where torso position is deceleration and acceleration. So it teaches that pretty well. So
I just think that I just think for me, they are the biggest waste of space in any gym, and they're often most, and there's often more of them than anything. Like, and I just think that the world would be a better place if treadmills were abolished. Genuinely, I genuinely believe that.
It's like room 101, isn't it? Yeah. My one next will be a Viper.
Oh, fucking
the Viper. They're still around. It's crazy.
They're not, are they?
They're still here. God knows why. They're definitely part of the. I reckon who are the people who? What shoes would they wear if you were using a Viper?
Oh, fucking toe shoes, what they call them.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Definitely wearing Vibrams. They're all over Vibrams. No,
they're either wearing Vibrams or they're barefoot. One of the two.
Yeah, one of the two, definitely.
Unbelievable.
The next one, the person.
The other bit of equipment that's shocking, that's really bad, that needs to die, is those black poles with the like colorful weights on the end.
Oh yeah, they're like the body pump weights, that thing.
Yeah, get rid of that because then body pump would die, so get rid of that as well. That's fine. The birds will stay.
Those plates are moronic, right? But I don't mind the poles because they're like dowels, but in all good facilities.
What we used to use them for, was it? We used to use them more for that than anything else.
We used to, like, you see my dad's clients like just having a dowel doing some like toe touch squats and hinges and overhead split squats and all this kind of stuff. They're like, yeah, just grab one of them. Yeah, they won't be using them for anything decent anyway.
Yeah. They're not useful for anything.
So we just basically we decided. I was like, oh yeah, I think we actually got rid of them, our club. So they don't exist in our club anymore. And I just got loads of broomsticks. Do the job. I use them, and it's something quite nice, just holding a broomstick around and just like gently hitting.
I used to love holding it as a coach. I used to love holding on to one of them.
Some sort of power about it, right? And if one of my trainers walks past, I can hit them. Which tends to happen. 100%. So I'd agree. Obviously, I wrote down here is the Bosu ball. I'm sure people have seen my post about that. If not, I put a nice little. I did the old green screen thing down. It's cool, isn't it?
I know. Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
it's good.
Nice,
Like influencers, told you.
Yeah.
And then the Bosu. What the fuck is that about? Right? If you're squatting on one, we understand like, oh, I'm training my stabilizer muscles. No, you're not. Guess what? That's what I wrote in the post. I was like, guess what? You're not. And guess what? Load yourself some fucking heavy. Those stabilize muscles are going to have to fucking work to stabilize yourself if you've got heavy dumbbells in each hand. Trust me. If you've got a heavy barbell on your back or a heavy goblet, like those stabilize muscles are working. They have to. They cannot not. So that's.
I hate this whole thing about like stabilizing muscles when people say that, because it's by definition means that you're not stabilizing and you'll be falling over.
I'm great here. Right now I am stabilizing myself on this chair.
I'm pretty damn stable.
I'm so stable. It's insane. I'm no legs as well. That's crazy, right? Just on my butt. So yes, it's a silly argument. And the big thing for me is I'm sure you're the same, is most of the people who would use them usually cannot do that exercise on stable surface, but then they go this batshit stuff and try and do it on an unstable. We all see the squatting ones, we all see that kind of stuff. Absolutely, that like is its own category. But I have seen
this one has to be the one standing doing bicep curls on it.
Standing on a bicep. So I think I've bettered this. So this lad was trying to do. I saw this 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was trying to do cable chest flies whilst on one. And then he just looked shocked why he couldn't lift the same weight he was doing previously. He was just like, I was like, really? Wow. What are you it's just like, what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to achieve a chest exercise, or are you trying to fall over? I don't really understand. So if not, you're trying to hinder yourself, turn it in such a compensatory movement pattern, so therefore you cannot lift the load, which will create the stimulus that you want to elicit change. That is what you've done. You've created that. You basically shot yourself in the chest and gone, actually, now I'm going to crack on and do my chest flies. Oh, what? So, all right, that makes sense. Right. So you're now giving yourself a weaker platform to go through it from. Bonkers. Don't understand it. Bosu ball needs to die. Anything else, Daniel?
Well, Smith machine, you said, didn't you?
So we'll now enter the category of dumb equipment, but in the right hands has an application. Next category. There's only going to be 2 categories, so yeah. This is
I think with that one, like obviously, like with the Smith machine, for general population, like if you're a trainer, you shouldn't be getting your clients to use a Smith machine. I'm okay with trainers using them. I'm okay with, like, say, us using them, all that sort of stuff, because you know how to use it properly. You know, plane of motion, you know, all this sort of stuff, how to engage.
To be honest,
muscles,
I haven't used one in so long, and I haven't been in a facility that's had one in so long. I probably don't.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah. It's like, for me, it's like a last resort. Like, so I've got one at the gym that I train at, because there's no squat rack. There's no way of pressing any heavier weights than 30 kilo dumbbells. So I'm like, okay, well, it's all I've got to do. And I can do, you know, shoulder press and I can do chest press. And it's kind of like, it's like having a machine, effectively, chest press machine, right?
Yeah.
But there's no reason that you need to use one with your clients ever. I'm going to say ever. Unless you're training in the gym that I'm in and you like to do bench press and they're strong enough to do all the other shit. But it's just that whole thing of that you should be doing better movements, better exercises that are going to help them than that, basically. Because not many of your clients should be doing like bodybuilding style stuff or like focusing on a body part that much to that degree.
Yeah, they won't be, surely. They won't. And if they are, and you're training, you're essentially, for that to be in your exercise plan and programming, I'm saying it would fall so far down the niche thing that I'm not looking at that unless I'm probably training a bodybuilder or aesthetic based thing 6 times a week, maybe. And probably multiple sessions. And that's when I've run out of exercises essentially to give people. And maybe I'm giving doubles of certain things. They might like squat on one day and then another day. And then they've got the same exercise twice, just at different like rep ranges or loads or something like that. That's when it would enter my thought possibly to do it. And that's it. So yeah, only uses, hanging your coat, good one. Maybe just to fling it up when that makes quite a cool noise, that kind of thing. I like that. And nobody knows how much the bar weighs. Nobody knows.
You don't need to know.
I mean, we've asked, but yeah, I don't think we're meant to know. So I think it's a secret, industry secret. If you know, write to us. Dan in Dubai number 1. That's his address. Pretty right, isn't it? The Smith machine, yeah, absolute horseshit. So this one's something that, as all biases, people can come round on, and it is something that probably 3 to 4 years ago I would have been absolutely against. I still don't agree with everybody should use it all the time, obviously, but for its functionality of doing something is a heel raise piece of equipment. It is something that I have definitely, believe it or not. I mean, I'm not saying I was wrong in the past, but I think I was unjustified and didn't see it for what it's worth, kind of thing. And I've grown. Look at me growing, Dan, over the last like 3 or 4 years, and I will quite happily heel raise my clients with a purpose-built heel raise, not fucking 2.5 kilo plate like that's wobbling all over the place, with a purpose-built, like this is a 1.5 wedge, I guess, or something like that. Just like it would be like some squat shoes or a little bit higher than that. I have come around to that because there was a point of time, and I know Dan falls in my category when I don't know what his opinion is now, that I would never kind of ever use one because I understood biomechanics and I was just like, I can get this person to squat maybe, all this kind of stuff. But maybe I've gone past that in terms of understanding mechanics and gone, actually, to make this squat look shit hot and I want to blow out your basically quads and your ass, like I'm just going to give you a heel raise and we'll worry about ankle mobility at some point because I want ankle stiffness to happen because that's going to make you more powerful. And I want to have this as a supplementary exercise to make this squat look cool. For my squat, believe it or not, my main thing is not looking at your ankles. It's actually training your hips and your knees and stuff, right? That's probably the main thing I'm looking at. So I've kind of gone like, actually, maybe I'm all right with it to a certain like point.
I think the problem with it for me has always been twofold. Number one is that people use fucking 2.5 kilo plates to do it.
Correct.
And it's the most unstable thing in the world. And it's dangerous for number one. And then number two is that you get people doing it and then you get them doing that with their barbell back squat, their clients, for like 2 reps. And I'm like, no, again, you don't understand mechanics. If someone, right, does a front squat or a goblet squat and their range is not great, I would heel raise them 100%. I'd get a wedge under there and I'd be like, right, let's make this groove this pattern because you can't do this yet. You can't squat. the thing that frustrates me is that people just they see someone do, they go, right, you do barbell back squat, 60 kilos, 70 kilos, whatever it is. Oh, form's not great. What do we do? I know, get those 2 plates there, stick them under your heels. And it's like, no, because you don't know if that person can actually squat to full range. You've just put a bar in their back and told them squat. No, it's your job as a trainer to find out what that range of motion is like, where the sticking points are. Because like you said, Tom, if you go, right, look, you can front squat or goblet squat, great. Like you've got great hip mobility, good, nice, good position. Your main issue is just that your calf flexibility is a bit shit. So do you know what? I'm going to make sure that if we do barbell back squat, I'm going to make sure we heel raise, because for that reason, I want you to do more with your legs, or we'll front squat and we'll goblet squat and all those other great things. It's just the laziness. It's just that was point number one. It's like, oh, I'll just do that because that's a shortcut. It's like, no, it's a shortcut, but you haven't explored all the other options between the barbell back squat and the shortcut. That was always my issue with it, is that there's definitely application for it. Like you said, biomechanically, blasting someone's quads and all this sort of stuff. You want to do more quad specific focused squatting movements, that kind of thing. And as you said, it's a means to an end. The goal is to get them to be able to do it without the heel raise. But in the meantime, I'm not going to stop their progression if I can just raise the heel. But it's just it's just the lack of knowledge from people. They just whack a fucking 2.5 kilo plate. And
and if anybody's done that in their career, I'm sure is probably listening. They definitely have. But the people who have attended a workshop with me, we literally do a breakdown of why we would look at other avenues before that. And we literally coach somebody through. And the thing to do is a medicine ball reaching squat and some sort of external loading, which shifts anteriorly as we go down. Okay, so you shift it as far out as possible, giving basically your center of mass and yourself some abs, which are going to cling on to your pelvis so it doesn't start to dip and tuck very much. So we basically get a little bit better for a squat. So you'll probably notice that in medicine ball reach, when you basically act as if you're passing the ball to someone on the way down. Your butt wink comes a lot later. Your abs kind of engage. Turn those abs on. Yeah. Squeeze the abs. They squeeze harder. I mean, yeah, all the squeezings happen at those abs. Boy. But yeah, it's probably more about the center of mass thing, that it shifts forwards and then you're like, oh shit, cool. This person can squat. The hip mobility is there. The knee mobility is there. But at the moment, they are unable to organize their body around those joints very well, that they need to load anteriorly to make it look not dog shit, essentially. And that, the heel raise obviously would do the same functionality of like, all right, cool, it's gonna shift your body weight forward. Oh my God, really, Tom? Yeah, that's actually what happens, because obviously you have to shift it forward and then your body weight mass is forward. So do that with load. Cool. People know, listen to this podcast, is we load anteriorly and then we shift backwards. That is what happens. That's what people do, because you go from like your quads and stuff to your ass and stuff, basically. So yeah, that's I totally agree with you, man. And yeah, I would be like, that is the bugbear of the heel raise. It's the lack of, it's the kind of, oh, we'll just do that now.
It's just the way that PTs do it. You know what PTs do it? PTs do it because they go, oh, look at me, I'm magic. Do you know?
Yeah,
it's
correct.
Like, no, you're just an idiot.
You're
just an idiot. You've just rushed in and you don't actually know what you're doing.
And like if I would obviously me and Dan would immediately know, like probably before we back squat somebody, because we would have done their time doing goblet squats and front squats. If they needed a heel raise for their back squat, I would be like, all right, you're going to go on this for your back squat, because I want you to get more load. We're still going to hit it. Probably will be a little bit more posteriorly. That's what we're trying to do. We're going to shift more load, and it's not going to be as taxing on. We know where the front squat is a hell of a lot more taxing than the back. Okay, because it's got what do I say? Not biomechanically taxing. It will come to me at some point. Something I say in my workshops.
Must be a big word.
I know, I just can't remember.
It's in your workshops. It's in your workshops. It must be a big word.
I know. I'm like, they're like, that's a great thing to say, Tom. Just can't think of it. Foggy brain, mate. It's the end of the day. I can't remember. But yeah, that's one of my things. Heel raises. Anything else, Daniel?
Not from me. No.
Not from you. There was one that Agatha asked me to talk about is just chains, because she'd noticed that I'd use chains in my programming. So I used chains, and then another lad that she followed was using chains. Didn't understand why, and it looks cool. It looks cool to use chains, as we know. That's the main reason, because I'm an influencer. And
when you using the pull-ups,
correct, I was. Yeah. So I was
just
using.
easier, isn't it? If you're doing a pull-up, it's just easier.
Yeah. It's so much easier to load it. it's so much less of a faff. Number one, it's less of a faff to put a weight belt on and dangle the fucking thing between your legs. Number two, a thing ain't dangling between your legs that's kind of unstable and wobbling about whilst you do a pull up, believe it or not. Number three, mechanically, the load that you're putting on is closer to your effort. So where the thing fucking moves from, my lats and all my shoulders and stuff, I'm loading directly on that. So it will have more of a force kind of putting through there. So mechanically, it's a little bit better. Instead of it kind of being way below me, there's a bit of a line of distance that will possibly be happening whilst it wobbles about. So yeah, I'm putting the mass where most of my mass is to pull. So therefore, it will be easier. So believe it or not, those are both 5.5 kilo chains. And I put 2 of them on, so 11 kilos. I know, strong. And I weigh quite a lot right now. So to do I was doing power kind of speed pull-ups. Like I always write VBT, velocity-based training, pull-ups for doing them for like 3s to 5s and still looking quick, I guess. It's a bit of an effort for me. I'm a bit of a load. So yeah, that's why it would look worse if I had it dangling between my legs. Trust me. Just have a play. Put a 5 kilo chain compared to a 5 kilo weight between your legs and see what the difference is. I bet that the chains will be better for you. It won't hurt your neck. Jesus.
No.
Dan wears, now he's in Dubai, he has to wear those massive chains when he walks around anyway. So everybody's doing
gold ones as well. Gold ones, have to be.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Absolute pleasure, my friend. We bring this, I think we've been going for far too long. Yeah, we're almost at 50 minutes. We can churn it out for another couple of minutes. Come on.
Far too long.
All right. Any other business, Dan?
Nope. All good.
No, nothing for me. Obviously, Blitz is happening right now, so hopefully all
next
your
Blitz
blitzes...
is April. Next Blitz is in April, I reckon. It's going to be.
People have already like missed out. If you're not on it, obviously people are on it now, enjoying themselves, losing weight.
Halfway through there, yeah, smashing it.
Hey, Jesus,
it's good, yeah.
Halfway through,
yeah. Wow. 4 weeks down.
Wow, well done then. I've been seeing some positive results all over the gram, which is always good. So obviously, people are going to go sign up if they want to lose some mass on that.
They should do.
Exactly.
I'm right. They should.
And if
go sign up to that waiting list. Links in my bio. Go sign up to the waiting list.
Then do what the rest of them have done: is sack off Dan's training, then come you coach with me. That's absolutely fine.
There you go. Easy.
So the only way I get to look at Dan's programs, unfortunately, is to have people as kind of moles inside his groups. So yeah, I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. It's great. I'm going to take that.
Stealing it all.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next week.
See you later.